Okay, and part two of my game masterless gaming video, and talking about using Rory story cubes and boggle dice to generate plot enhancers, basically, as we go along in the game. So we came up with what we decided was steely and ancient and slow, and we decided that was an iron golem, and we decided that just kind of backdating it a little bit, that our players were on a quest to find some defense for their city against an army of 10,000 ravaging hobgoblins that was coming through. Um, they rolled a 20 at some point, perhaps during an encounter, or perhaps as an encounter, um, and perhaps as a saving throw, perhaps as an intelligence check of some kind. Who knows? If it happened during a battle, and one of the players um, managed to roll a 20 and did a critical hit on somebody, cut their head off. Maybe the head goes, bouncing into a rock and overturns the rock, and, underneath a rock is a steel hand pointing to the north or something like that, and these words written on it, or something very similar. Okay, so we got this, what we'll call an open plot device right now. Steely and ancient and slow, or steely and magic and slow, or however we want to, interpret the pyramid. And they're going to keep going based on that until they hit another plot element that's either going to continue this plot element, or close it out if it reasonably could. And so let's say that they go on and they don't have any more encounters in the wilderness, but we'll say that they go through a town, and they're tired and hungry or whatever, and they go in to the local tavern. Always a great place to run into, plot devices. And they make a check, a reaction roll or something like that with the innkeeper. And they happen to roll a 20. So we're going to do, I'm just going to go over here and just kind of randomly grab another seven boggle dice and another couple of Rory story cubes, and I've got them here, and again I'm going to roll them, see what we get. Okay, in this case I'm trying to show you guys this stuff as we do it. Thank you, Caesar the Wonder Dog. Okay, can you see that all right there? We have two E's, we have a mask, we have a G, an A, an R, a C, a K, and then the eight-armed symbol of chaos, for those of you who are familiar with Michael Moorcock. And let's see what we can do with that. Again, we want to use all of the symbols in one way or another. It doesn't absolutely have to make sense all the time, but and one of the interesting things about YouTube vids is you guys can go back and check my work on this to make sure that I'm not cheating in some way. All right, I think I got a kind of a neat one. Remember here too that it doesn't need to make perfect sense. You can abbreviate words as I did in the last one. You can you come up with a kind of a rebus puzzle. But what I've come up with, just real quick doing this, are the words, I can get it up there, crag. I'm sorry, I wish I knew how to turn the letters around. This isn't really a word at all, but, well, actually it can be. I was going to use the word eek, okay, which really isn't a word except eek, scared of something, but there is a real word there, and I think we should try to use real words to the extent that we can, and that's EKE, eek, as in to eke out a living, or something like that. And then, of course, we got the symbol of chaos, and again, we got the mask. Well, what does the mask indicate? Chaos is pretty obvious. It indicates chaos. It may indicate the lords of chaos, the forces of chaos, whatever. Probably for what we're trying to do for a D&D adventure, that's probably close to the truth. So some evil power, maybe. The mask indicates something that is not what it appears to be, I think. There's a lot of other ways you could interpret it. You could interpret it as a play. You could interpret it as an actual mask, maybe an artifact of some type. You could interpret it as maybe something like a spy or something otherwise deceptive, somebody who isn't what he appears to be. Yeah, but for the moment, I'm going to have the players finding out about a crag. Yeah, maybe as they continue their journey north to the mountains, which we got out of the last plot device element. And as they go on, they're going to come upon a village of people eking out a living in the service of some seemingly good power that is masked in some way, and it actually serves the forces of chaos. Okay, so these are people, maybe, it's a crag, so it's, mountainous or something like that. Maybe these are dwarves, maybe these are gnomes, hobbits, something like that. Who knows? I mean, you could throw a lot of elements in here, but maybe this is something, something that's some demonic presence or whatever, vampire, something like that. That's claiming to be something good and wonderful, and getting the dwarves, hobbits, whatever they are, to eke out their the last of their mining or whatever to serve this thing. And if the player characters manage to expose what's going on and defeat it, then maybe the mask turns around, and what was serving chaos is now serving the law, and they can give more indication, more direction as to what's going on when the player characters reach this dungeon, whatever it works out to be. They don't know. They have no idea at this point. That is the iron golem that's going to, at least they think that's what it is, the iron golem that's going to be the salvation of their town. Okay. And we keep going like that until we come to what we think is a reasonable resolution of things. I'm going to do this just one more time here. And I'm going to grab another 7 story cubes. And 7 is just kind of an arbitrary number I came up with, and same with the 7 boggle cubes. 2 story cubes, and I'm going to toss them in here and see what we get. Okay. And again, I'm going to try and lay this out so you guys can see it. But I'm sure you're starting to get the idea, and I think you'll agree with me that it's much more effective, a plot generator than something, like even 1,000, a 1 die 1,000, list of sentences or whatever, because you're really creating the thing yourself. So we see here the letters S-E-O, another E, H, TH. The boggle cubes sometimes do have combinations of letters that are commonly found together. N. Then we have what looks like a tower, and then we have what looks like a dice. Okay, so what can we do with that? Well, let's find out. THEN is the first thing that comes out at me. Then, then is a connector. If this, then that. That can be certainly the sort of thing that might indicate that we're ready to close out this element. And let's see here. And then we get the letters OF, which are of, and then an S and an H. and then the tower and the dice. Well, dice, what does a dice indicate? Generally speaking, that's the symbol for chance. Okay, and I think we're going to call it that here. And we have a tower. A tower is an indication of strength, worldly power of some kind. Very often in in a D&D game, this is going to be a wizard's tower or a castle or something like that. Center of power or government, whatever. I'm not quite sure what to do with the H and the S over here, but we got to try and do something with them. And so let's see. The tower of HS, then chance. The tower of HS, then chance. The tower of high sorcery, then chance. Okay, all right. That sounds like the kind of thing that would close our plot device out. I think you'll agree. The tower, and here again, it's not cheating to do it this way. It's not cheating to call this high sorcery. Okay, these things are supposed to be plot devices. They're supposed to be idea drivers, nothing more. So the tower of high sorcery, then chance. You have to go to the tower of high sorcery, and then chance something. Maybe you have to play a game of dice with the high sorcerer. Who knows? Maybe the high sorcerer is bound. One of these wizards who managed to summon a demon that was more clever than he was, and you've got to play some kind of a game of dice with the devil or dice with death. Think Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. Really, but I know that's silly. There go my dogs again. Boys, be quiet! Shut up! Sorry about that. Anyway, all kinds of silly things are possibilities, but this is the way that ideas get generated. This is the way that you can create something like this. So herein lies our, the thing that is going to save our town, and we found a way to get there, and we've done some adventuring along the way. And maybe there's a dungeon adventure. Maybe that's what they've been heading towards all along. Who knows? But I think you'll agree that this makes for an interesting, at least, plot device developer. And it's obviously one of those things, I've sat here in the course of 2 13-plus minute videos and come up with this. And, simple enough stuff. But please have a look at it, and I'm going to make more videos in this series, and give me your reaction. Thank you.